So let's do something we like to call social media check-in. All right, what do we got, guys?
All right. So, guys, remember, like I said, the first questions that we are going to ask are from the VIP page, Brad Squad page. So, Nicole H. asked from the Brad Squad page, if I filed the I-751 in November 2018 and the N-400 in November 2019 and I have yet to hear anything from USCIS beyond a confirmation number, what does this mean and what should I be expecting?
Expecting eventually a citizenship interview and be told to you'll get a decision after the I-751 is approved. What I have discovered dealing with immigration when you file the I-751 and then concurrently 1 year later file the N-400 is it slows both cases down. So my opinion would be generally, although I tend to sometimes disagree sometimes with my own opinion and tell people to file their citizenship, but generally I tell people wait for the I-751 to get approved and then do the citizenship.
Okay, the next one comes from Carmen C, which also came from our VIP Brad Squad page. If I have an approved petition for my stepson in the Dominican Republic and I am a U.S. citizen, how long will it take until we get an interview date?
I don't know the answer to that, but hopefully about 6 to 8 months, assuming your priority date is current.
Okay, Build on the Rock, another VIP Brad Squatter, asked, if I filed an I-485 and forgot to fill out one of the questions, will USCIS automatically deny my application?
They shouldn't. They probably just either give you an RFE or alternatively, they just may ask that question at the interview.
Okay, so the next one comes from Walajev Diva Brown on Facebook. If I'm married to a green card holder, can he file for me now or should he wait until he becomes a U.S. citizen next year?
Always file now, even though you may not be eligible to adjust until he becomes a citizen.
Oh, it's Bowleg Diva.
Bowleg.
What?
It's Bowleg Diva.
Bowleg Diva.
I read it like it was super exotic.
Yeah, it's not. But it is. It could be. Okay, Mary Donker on Facebook asked, it's been 7 months since my Stokes interview and I still have yet to hear back from USCIS. What should I do?
Well, after it's 7 months, the longer it takes, the more likely it is that they're going to deny you, unfortunately. I don't know how you did on the interview, but maybe you need to start speaking to an attorney.
Joan Grant on Facebook, what forms do I need to submit with my N-400 application?
Copy of your green card.
Naked Wire on Facebook asked, how do I change my address with immigration? If I filed for my wife and child who are in Ohio, but I'm currently in New York, is that a problem?
It is a problem because you and your wife are not living together, and the whole purpose of a filing for your spouse is family reunification. But you can't be unified if you're in different states. So you guys got to figure it out.
Purpose-driven Arundela on Facebook. My mom came to the U.S. on vacation in December of 2019, and due to COVID, she has been unable to leave. If I filed for her last October, would her overstay due to the pandemic affect the petition?
Yes, and you should file the adjustment here now.
Okay, Ibere Usuji on YouTube asks, what happens to a green card petition if the petitioner dies?
That's the end of the case. Sometimes you can have a close family member take it over. There's two different laws depending on whether the person is outside of the United States or is in the United States when the petitioner dies. If the person is in the United States when the petitioner dies, it becomes easier. You do something under Section 204L, and you can have a family member automatically substitute in based on humanitarian reasons, and those humanitarian reasons are presumed. If, on the other hand, you are outside of the United States, you have to ask USCIS to reinstate the I-130 and have a close family member substitute in. So it depends on where you are. It's a completely different process.
Candy Bennett on Facebook, if I am married, how difficult is it to get a B1, B2 visa for my spouse so he can come visit me here in the U.S.?
Very hard because they're going to think that he's coming to live here. So it's going to be very, very hard. You may want to instead do a K-1 visa.
Munir Guy on YouTube asks, if I want to file for VAWA...
Excuse me, K3 visa. You got to file. It's already the spouse. So you got to file the I-130 and then do a K3. My apologies. Go ahead, Yo-Yo.
Okay, Munir Gui on YouTube asks, if I want to file for VAWA, can I also file for travel documents?
If you file an adjustment application with the VAWA case, you can file for an advanced parole travel document, yes.
Rawell Williams on Facebook, if a person has an open case in court, will that affect the possibility of getting citizenship?
Absolutely. You will be denied if you have an open case in court, so don't even bother filing until the case is resolved.
Okay, Goddess Warrior on YouTube asks, why would USCIS request a second biometric appointment of me?
Because your fingerprints were not collected properly on the first time.
Lorraine Grillchrist on Facebook, if my grandson is on holiday here with me in the U.S., how can I file for him without him going back to his homeland?
Well, you can't file as a grandma, but he can file a SIJ if you can show it's not in his best interest to go back to his homeland and he's been abandoned, neglected, or abused by one of his biological parents, and you do a SIJ, become his legal guardian, and then adjust his status here.
Chrissy Brown on Facebook asks, if I'm submitting a letter to prove my good moral character along with my 601 waiver and I'm in Jamaica with no access to a notary public, can I instead get the letter stamped by the Justice of the Peace?
Yes, you can.
Marco Mercado, if on YouTube, if I got deported but came back 2 weeks later legally with an ID card in 2001 and have been here in the U.S. ever since without a green card, is it possible for me to ever get my green card back?
He got deported and then came back 2 weeks later?
Legally.
Legally came back?
That's what this says.
You did not come back legally 2 weeks later if you got deported. There's more to the story. Do not admit to crimes on Facebook. Come call me.
Patricia Bird on YouTube asks, how long does an I-485 approval take with a pending VAWA case?
Over 2 years, unfortunately.
Miranda Simpson on Facebook, if I've ever been in the U.S. for 8 years, if I've been in the U.S. for 8 years, is there any way I can get a worker's permit, New Jersey state ID, or driver's license?
No, only in New York they're giving driver's licenses to people who are undocumented. You have to be living in New York. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.